Well, hello everybody and welcome to yet another of our virtual happy hours where we try to connect you guys with some of the brewers and breweries out there during this rather unusual circumstance of life. And without further ado, because it's rather early in the morning, we're actually recording this at 10 a.m. in the morning, and I tip my hat, if I had a hat on, to those of you out there who are actually drinking beers at 10 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to introduce, before I start anybody else, I'm going to introduce my beer. Hello, beer. How are you? I'm Phil. You're the beer. And it's one of my crowlers that I got from the wonderful Oswego Brewing Company, because that's who we're focusing on today. And I'm going to crack open my crowler. And because it's early in the morning, I opted to go with the mild ale, which is called Mild Weather. And I guess we are having mild weather, I'm glad to say, out there now. And I've only got a small glass. As I say, it's a little early in the morning. But
it's 4%, Phil.
It's what?
It's 4%, so you can drink it all day.
Thank you. Well, I might as well introduce him then while we're here. This is Marc Wilson, brewmaster at Oswego Brewing Company, who is actually in the middle of a boil.
Hello, hello.
Hey, how are you? I'm going to put this back in the fridge because I don't want it to get too warm. So on my, let's see, as we look at the screen, and you're seeing this, on my left is Mr. Jay Rizicki, who looks like he's drinking water in a car. Is that right, Jay?
Yes, I am. It's early. Well, it's late for me. It's 11 o'clock Florida time. I drove down to check on my dad. And I'm not going to lie to you. I went through about half of a bottle of hand sanitizer. And where I'm at right now is right outside of Weeki Wachi's Natural Springs Water Park. It's a beautiful place if you ever get down here.
Can you tell us what's going on at the water park?
Nothing right now, but about a half an hour ago when I was driving, I was in a torrential downpour and traffic slowed down to about 30 miles an hour. So I'm safe now, right in front of the place park.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. And of course, Jay is from Malted Tales and also Milk Money Brewing Company, but he's wearing a wonderful Oswego Brewing Company t-shirt for this event.
Yeah.
Wonderful thing. So the other person that we need to introduce, of course, is Mr. Ken McMullen, who looks like Ken is in his brewery this morning. Are you there, Ken?
Yes, I am. Morning.
Good morning to you, Ken. What's going on? What are you drinking?
I poured a Zwickel Mastodon IPA. We're releasing this today. So this is dry hopped. I pulled a keg off before I dry hopped it too. So you can compare, you can see what dry hopping does to a beer if you want to. But
I know you're a big coffee man. You got that going the go-to?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's 10 a.m. So two fisting today.
All right, so the last person that we have not introduced, just below me to my left, is the lovely assistant brewer at Oswego Brewing Company, Carolyn Stephens. Welcome, Carolyn. How are you doing?
Everyone. Thanks, Phil.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Okay, well, I mean, have you been out of your house?
Yeah, a couple times I've been to the brewery and, little grocery shopping and exciting things like that.
So that's a good thing. They're keeping you busy anyway. So Marc, welcome to the show. You are actually brewing and have been doing so since the wee hours of the morning, right?
Yes. I got in around 6 o'clock this morning to get a brew started. And the nice thing about brewing on the weekends is that I have backup for the kids, so I can get up and get going and be done early on in the day. So I started around 6 o'clock, and I should be done around 2. I'm brewing my Haze for Horses, which is our take on the hazy IPA, and it's actually our number one selling beer here at the brewery. So I'm going to be making actually 2 batches of it over this weekend.
So Carolyn, have you been able to get back and brew as well and relieve Marc, if you will?
No, not yet, but hopefully that's going to happen in the near future. I've got some small batches planned as well for our small batch program.
That's cool. I like the idea of you're going to do the experimental stuff then, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Gives me a chance to write some recipes and work with Mark on fine tuning them. And then we release them to the public. And it's only like, 5 or 10 gallons, but we're bringing people in to try something new. And yeah, it's been a really fun process so far.
So, Mark, how has Oswego Brewing been doing based upon our circumstances? Are you doing curbside or what?
Yeah. So up until this week, we've been allowing people to come into the brewery and pick up beer at the bar. Obviously, the bar is closed down, but people are able to come in and pick up. This week, we decided that we're entering into the most dangerous territory of the pandemic. So we closed it down to curbside only, but we also started doing some delivery this week. So if you're within maybe like a 5 to 10 mile radius of the brewery, we can deliver to you as well.
And actually, I should say that this is how I got these wonderful crowlers. I came down to you and tested out your curbside delivery. I went online, got the beers, paid for them, came down, and hey, let's have a quick look at my experience.
All right.
Hello everybody, this is Phil Clark. I am down at the Oswego Brewing Company, and I have called my good friend, the brewmaster, Marc Wilson. Last time we did a pickup curbside, I got some flack for some people for not wearing a mask. So I'm wearing a mask this time. And hopefully Mark will have my beer ready and waiting and available in just a second. If you were very observant and into continuity, you would have seen that in the first shot, I was wearing the bloody mask upside down. I gotta put this thing on my nose, make sure it covers it over. It was really easy to order. I just went online and filled up my cart, and there we go. Coming okay with my order right now. Here he is. Hello Mark, how you doing?
Good, how about you?
Good. I see you're practicing good masking technique.
Trying my best.
Absolutely, me too. And look at this lovely beer. It was so easy to order. We'll go back to talking to you in the brewery.
Sounds good.
Which you're doing a little brewing, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
going to take this with my gloved hand.
All right.
There we go. And we've got the full holder and everything.
Exactly.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There you go. It was seamless. And I was a silly ass and had my mask on upside down for the first few minutes. And then I went back and looked at the video I'd done and I went, oh, you dumbass. So I got it right. I don't think it mattered really, to be quite honest, but
We all
Have you been drinking before that?
no, I hadn't, alas.
But overall, I mean, we're doing pretty well. It's challenging to say the least. We're doing the best we can. We were fortunate enough to receive some of the federal funding to help get us back on the ground, get people back to work. But it is not having the bar open takes a huge chunk of our business, and not being able to deliver to accounts is taking a huge chunk of our business. So, I mean, we're limping along as best we can during these times.
So Mark, for this batch today, did you have to order ingredients or did you have stuff in house?
Well, it's interesting because we had most of the ingredients. Actually, we had all the ingredients in house. We were going to brew it, and then we got shut down, and decided to hold off on brewing this beer because of the shutdown, and didn't know when it was going to lift. So we actually had a canning date at the very beginning of April, and so we pushed it back, and now we have a canning date at the beginning of May, and that's what this beer is being made for. So we had all the ingredients. The yeast I had ordered, I ended up selling it off because I didn't want it to go bad, and I wanted someone else to use it if they could. So Mike from Microphone bought it. And so fortunately, Imperial was able to fill our yeast order for this batch of beer.
Do you normally get from Imperial or are you?
I normally
Omega?
get from Omega.
Yeah.
But we decided to get this beer going. So I kind of quickly got on the internet and started to try and find yeast providers that are actually open. And
Right.
because Lance over at Omega, he decided for the safety of his staff to shut down for a little bit, and fortunately for us, Imperial was open and we were able to order directly from them.
I'm not familiar with Imperial. Where are they located?
They're out of Oregon. I'm in all honesty, I'm not incredibly familiar with their products either, their yeast products, but I know, like, I see them used a lot in the homebrew community. I see some breweries using their professional pitches, and I believe they do make pretty solid pitches of yeast. So I'm excited to give it a try. It's basically the same strain of yeast that we've been using for our haze. It's Omega's 011. It's London Ale 3.
So I know that you guys have families. What have you been doing with your families? Has this given you an opportunity to spend more time with your loved ones?
Yeah, we've had a lot of togetherness. And I've got 3 kids at home, so I've got a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a now 12-year-old. And 12-year-old's pretty self-sufficient, and she spends most of her time in her room. But the 2 and the 5-year-old are constantly at each other, and I'm kind of refereeing their time together all the time. So my wife's work has not stopped, and it's actually a really busy time for her. So I'm playing Mr. Mom at home, and so it's exciting to try and keep the kids educated and living.
Yeah, right. And Carolyn, how about you? You have been playing games, what have, I mean, you're a lot younger than the rest of us. So I want to find out, what have you been doing to pass the time?
Well, let's see. Well, my Sabrina's been working through this whole thing, so I'm trying to stay out of her way. We have a pit bull named Lily who has gotten a ton of walks and attention. So she's super happy to have me home with her. And then I like to bake, I read, so been definitely keeping myself busy, working in the yard.
Yeah, if you can get out into a yard, that's great. We know what Jay's been doing and what Ken have been doing. I mean, they've been busy at breweries and doing these bloody videos. Now, look, I just see that Marc has, I thought he went to check his boil. There we go. He's back now. How's your boils?
It's looking great.
Okay, good. I have in here 2 more of these cans, and I have Stone Skipper, which is your Hefeweizen, and Arnie's Ale, which is a Scotch Ale. Tell us a little bit about those particular brews.
All right, so our Hefeweizen is actually our number 2 selling beer, and I try and do my best to sell it as a traditional, or produce it as a traditional Hefeweizen. I do ferulic acid rest at 111 degrees. Ferulic acid is a precursor to making that, making some of those nice traditional flavors in the Hefeweizen, and then I bring it up to 148, 150 degrees for a mash, and we use traditional noble hops, Hallertau, for the hop additions, and we use a Weihenstephaner Hefeweizen yeast to ferment it out. Ours comes out a little bit on the light side, but it's really easy to drink, and it's really popular here in the tap room and our to-goes too. Arnie's Ale, that's a really fun beer. We have a gentleman here who's one of our original investors, and he spends a lot of time here at the brewery with us. He's basically my second assistant brewer, but he donates his time to helping us out. Oftentimes Carolyn has to keep up with him because he can move faster than the 2 of us combined. But he's a hard worker for us. He does a lot of cleaning around the brewery for us. And so his birthday was in November, and I decided, let's make a birthday present for Arnie. And we made his favorite style of beer, which is the Scotch Ale. go through on the Scotch Ale was actually really good. But I thought some of the crystal malts came across a little heavy on the original recipe. So I revamped the recipe, and I really like how it turned out. It still has that nice high ABV for a Scotch Ale. I think this is ringing in around 8.5, 8.7. But then it's got nice toffee, caramel, toasty notes to it. Makes it really enjoyable. I just had one on the patio one day when it was like 50 degrees outside, 60 degrees, and it was beautiful. I love that beer. That one is hopped with English East Kent Golding hops. They're not really there to flavor it, just to add some background bitterness. But I really like how that beer turned out. As a matter of fact, that was one of the beers that we sent to World Beer Cup. It didn't make it to World Beer Cup because World Beer Cup didn't actually happen, but it was one of our World Beer Cup entries.
Yeah, and you of course have won medals at that World Beer Cup, but we'll have to talk about that, I think, in another session. It sounds like you got a lot going on, because before we go, I want to find out whether or not Marc Wilson, will you show us your fridge, please?
All right, let's look at my fridge.
All right, he's heading over to his fridge now. He's walking. It's really cool.
I can't go too far into the fridge because it will lose internet connection, but
oh, we're looking in your cooler. Oh, it's a big fridge, man.
So we got lots of beer in here.
Wow.
We do have, it looks like someone brought us some goodies over here. There's some Transient and some Phase 3, some Hailstorm sketchbook, and Foreign Exchange. Sitting on that keg right there. I got a couple of skids of cans sitting over here. But yeah.
What about, don't you have a personal beer fridge here? I guess this is it.
This is it.
Maybe Carolyn, are you close to your beer fridge?
Yeah, let's excuse the mess.
Oh, hello, that's okay. That would be cool. Hang on a sec.
This home office is a work in progress. I actually just painted it with my time off here, so.
Yeah, Carolyn's showing us her beer fridge. That's good.
Oh boy.
Oh, look at that. There we go. What's in your beer fridge?
What's in my beer fridge?
Oh, you got Dry City in there. Oh my goodness me, look at that. It's wonderful.
There's a little bit of, there you go. A little bit of everything in there. Little OBC beer.
We didn't really see it.
You didn't really see it?
You didn't really pull anything out.
Well,
Well, my question is, that's your home office, and you have a beer fridge in your home office? I have a new person to look up to now.
That's my baby. All right. What is that one, Carolyn?
it's our barrel-aged barley wine.
Oh, I need that for our barley wine show.
Yeah. Well, so the reason I have a beer fridge in my home office is our regular refrigerator. I was taking up too much room with all the beer. So I was told that I should purchase a beer fridge. So there you
that's
go.
a very good reason.
Sure.
No, I respect that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, thank you so much indeed for spending a little bit of your Saturday morning. I hope it's provided a little bit of variety to an otherwise what seems to be drudgery of life at the moment. But we're looking up to the tunnel at the end, right, Ken?
Yes, the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right. Well, I guess all it takes is for me to say cheers from me with my English mild.
Cheers for me with my Evian water.
Cheers for me with my Mastodon.
Cheers from me from my empty glass.
Cheers for me with my American brown ale.
That's right. We never asked you what you were drinking.
Actually,
American brown ale. I'm assuming that's an Oswego.
Actually, it's an English style brown ale that I brewed a year or so ago myself. It's one of my home brews.
Ooh, wow. Bet that tastes good now. Well, thank you very much, guys. And it's cheers all round.
Cheers.
Cheers.